morning, everybody, and welcome to this channel today. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, you are highly welcome. Speaking with you is Esther Effiong, and I'm super excited. Today I'm here with you with a special conversation. It's very important we talk about this. But before I tell you why we are here, I'm here with special guests. And they're here to grace this event. So please, it's gonna be special, and I'm going to allow them introduce themselves. But before I do that, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't followed the page, if you are yet to do all these things, please, what are you waiting for? Follow. So without further ado, I'm going to allow my guests introduce themselves. So please.
All right, good morning, everybody. I'm super excited to be here this morning. My name is Ruth Marcos, and I study English and Literary Studies in the University of Calabar. I'm also very passionate about impacting young persons. So I teach English and literature. I also affiliate with Cross River State Broadcasting Corporation. So this morning I'm very excited to be here, and I hope to have a very swell time with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. We are really happy to have you here. Okay, I also have another guest here, and she's going to introduce herself.
Thank you, Miss Esther. Hello, people. Good morning. My name is Gloria Det. I'm a blogger and I'm also a student. I'm happy to be with you this morning. Thank you.
Okay, my guests have all introduced themselves, and you've heard their name. Please, if you didn't, go back to the video and hear again. Okay, today we are with a very special conversation to have with you all. Today we'll be talking about this topic called toxicity. You may be wondering, what's this topic about? Don't worry, we are here to serve you with enough information you need. This is the topic that affects a lot of persons, both the old, the young, the mother, the father, the children. They are all affected with this topic, and that's why we are bringing it up to you today. So I'll allow my guests explain to us better what they all know about this topic, toxicity. So please, can you tell us anything you really know about this topic?
All right, thank you so much, Miss Esther. I really do appreciate this opportunity. Well, I think before this time, I've been hearing about the word toxicity, toxicity. But the first time it really called for my attention was when I saw a post on Facebook. And the person said, if a relationship becomes toxic, back off. So, it really rang a bell in my head that time. So straight away, I went to the dictionary and I tried to make one or two findings. And it occurred to me that toxicity is an unpleasant, unfriendly relationship, anything that causes chaos. And then from further study, toxicity can cut across relationship toxicity and environmental toxicity. So anything that keeps you in a state of worry, anything that, perturbs your mental cognition, then it's something to actually consider as toxicity. Or a relationship that does not allow you to be free, a relationship that poises challenge on you as a person, then that's a toxic relationship. Well, the word toxic, if you're looking at it from a denotative perspective, it's actually compound chemicals that are poisonous. But as time went on, it was considered as more in a literal angle and a connotative angle, and that's to say something or a relationship that poses challenge on you as a person. Well, as at then, the word came into existence, the etymological meaning came into existence between 1655 to 1666. Thank you.
Wow, that was an amazing definition, and I'm really blessed for that definition. Please, can you also explain better on what you know about toxicity? And
Thank you very much for that question. I like it. Toxicity on its own, it's harmful. Yes, we all know that. Most people don't know that what affects them is toxic. They don't have the idea that what is going on in their life is harmful to them or in their environment. When we come up with this topic, we were like, how do we enlighten people to know that what's going on, their environment, their relationship, what's stressing them out, putting them in a state of panic. It's toxic to them. So we made research and we came to find out that toxicity can be described as a harmful substance in either your environment, your relationship, and anything. It's harmful. Then if you talk about toxicity, it's the degree. When you talk about toxic, it might be just small, you might not really notice it, but when you use the word toxicity to it, oh my god, it's how the degree of the harmfulness, yes, that it inflicts on you as a person.
Wow, wow, that's really an amazing definition of toxicity, and everything you need to know. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, you've not yet followed, what are you waiting for? Please do so. Get your book and your pen, because today we are out here to lecture you. Now, this will drive us directly to the two major subtopics we have today. That's the environmental toxicity and the relationship toxicity. Now, what is environmental toxicity, you may ask yourself. Environmental toxicity can be defined as the space. It may be a physical environment, it may be your office, a space that doesn't give you the permission to grow, that anytime you step in there, anytime you find yourself in there, you're either feeling inferior, feeling deprived, feeling you're not good enough. At that moment, that environment is no more healthy for you, especially to your mental health. It's now becoming toxic. So please, can you just tell us more about environmental toxicity?
All right, if we want to talk about environmental toxicity, it has occurred to me that people just want to be everywhere. There is no that sense to be able to select where you should be. That's very important to the level of your success. So most times you discover that if we're talking about environmental toxicity, then people are definitely involved. So you go to your office and you discover that the people that are there are not people that are in tandem with your values, are not people that are in tandem with your standards, but then you still want to force yourself, to be accepted and all that. In such a situation, that can cause toxicity, because in no less time, you will discover that it's either you're feeling inferior because you cannot match up to the standard of such persons, and then it's either you want to do the things that are not consistent with your person just to impress. I've always been telling people that work in accordance to your own space, your own formula. You don't need to go to the extent of welcoming people that are toxic, or to the extent of going to an environment that is not welcoming, that is anti-success. If you go to an environment that is anti-success, then there is every tendency that you will not achieve the required results. So I keep on telling persons that if you want to succeed, then you have to select your environment. If something is not good for you, say no to it. Work at your own space, work at your own frequency, work at your own formula. Thank you.
Wow, that's really an amazing one. Work with your space. Look for your class. Don't go beyond your class. Okay, please, can you tell us, what do you really know about environmental toxicity?
Okay, environmental toxicity has to do with your environment. The things that happen in your environment that affect you. No matter what you do, anything that goes on in your environment, whether it be a relaxing environment, whether your environment is anything that goes in at all, anything that goes on there affects you, even if you try to be less concerned about it, to still affect you. So in that process, that thing that affects you negatively, it's toxic in that environment. Environmental toxicity, it's a kind of toxin that affects you in your environment. Thank you.
Wow, that's really an amazing definition of environmental toxicity. We equally have factors that affect the environmental toxicity, and these are the things that you see as a result of being affected by your environment. We have deprivation of sleep. We have things like deprivation of sleep is when you can't relax your mind. You're like, your environment is not allowing you. And as we define toxicity, we said it's a chemical imbalance. It's a poison. So your environment is indirectly being a poison to you. So when we talk about environmental toxicity and the factors, we are talking about things that doesn't help you in your environment to grow. And we talk about smoking, things that activities that happens in that environment. You're talking about low self-esteem, things that happen in that environment, and all these things are factors that relate to environmental toxicity. Wow, that's really an amazing, and that will lead us to relationship toxicity. Relationship toxicity is so broad, and that's why we're bringing it out here today. Now, relationship toxicity can be defined as any relationship, be it a boy and a girl relationship, be it a husband and wife relationship, be it a father and a child relationship, whatever form of relationship that affects you negatively, that has a toxic effect on you negatively, can be seen as relationship toxicity. But I'm not going to say this alone because it's so broad, so I'm going to allow my guests here tell us what they really know about relationship toxicity. So Ma'am Ruth, can you really tell us, what do you really understand by relationship toxicity?
All right, Miss Esther, thank you so much once more. Well, in literature, they say man is a product of the people he surrounds himself with, as well as a milieu of his environment. And so, the people you surround yourself with, to an extent, determine the kind of person you turn out to be. The thing is, you really do not have to force yourself to impress people. Not everybody, people have circles and fragmentations. So not every circle will you really fit into. You just have to select the people that are in tandem with your perspective, people that are in tandem with your orientation, people that are in tandem with your value and all that. So you go to, if you discover that more often, you meet people that talk down, people that discriminate, people that segregate. Apparently, you turn out to begin to feel inferior and less of yourself. On the other hand, if you meet people that are always ready to encourage, you meet people that are always ready to see with you, automatically you become goal-driven and success-driven. So it is very important that the people, whatever relationship it is, remember I said earlier that I saw a post on Facebook and the person said, if a relationship becomes toxic, no matter how high-classed the person is, you really have to, re-navigate. You really have to, reposition yourself. Why? Because you are looking at your mental health. You are looking at how you can be driven to success and to your goals. You may have a long list of goals, all right? But the people you surround yourself with can either make or mar you. So it is very, very important that I work with a person. I am able to know the person's orientation. Personally, if I work with someone that looks down on me, I would leave and then go to a place where I am welcome. Why? Because it is very important to my cognition. It is very important to the degree to which I'll be able to succeed and the rest of it. So please do select the persons you work with. It's very important. Thank you.
Wow, that's really an amazing explanation to what relationship toxicity is. So, Ma'am Glory, can you tell us more on what you know about relationship toxicity?
Okay, thank you very much. Relationship toxicity, as you've heard it's about relationship. It doesn't just have to be your parents, your friends. It includes every kind of relationship you can think about, from a boss to an employee, or from a client to an employer, or from a father to a child, a mother to a child, a husband to a wife, a friend to a friend. Relationship toxicity, as the name implies, is a kind of relationship that doesn't make you feel safe, doesn't make you feel happy, affects your well-being as a whole, that will bring negative impact on you as a person. So any relationship that doesn't make you okay, just back out of it. As my friend here has said it already, any relationship that is toxic to you, back off.
Wow, that's really an amazing one. Any relationship that is not healthy, please back off. This will lead us to the signs of relationship toxicity. Most of us are in relationships that are toxic, but since we don't know these signs, we are blind, we don't know. So we are going to tell you the signs of relationship toxicity. Number one, I'm going to talk about a toxic communication. You know, relationship is 80% more of communication, then the rest of the percent can go for the rest of the things that makes up the relationship. Now, how do you know you're in a toxic relationship? Now, when a relationship has a toxic communication, when someone you claim to be in a relationship with is not giving you positive communication kind of skills, and you're just there, then know that you're in a toxic relationship, you're in a toxic environment and everything like that. When the person is not talking life to you, the person is not encouraging you with his words, the words are like knives that can pierce through, that is a sign of a toxic relationship. When the person keeps remembering you of how bad and how negative you are, that's actually the sign of a toxic relationship. So my guest is going to tell us another sign of a toxic relationship.
All right, thank you so much. I really do appreciate. All right, I want to talk about inferiority complex. It's something that is fast ravaging. It's something that is widespread. It has become very prevalent in society, particularly among young persons. Truth is, if you see most of the sushi people, you see a person with just an abnormal appearance, the person begins to adopt values that are not accepted in society and then begins to make them a normal lifestyle. Then there's something really wrong. If you want to poke further, you will discover that there is an inferiority syndrome that has begun to eat deep into that person. It's also important to know that, you know, the kind of persons you surround yourself with, once you surround yourself with people that are not encouraging, all right, people that see your weakness and then they want to laud it, then that can also cause inferiority complex. And then guess what? The resultant effect of inferiority complex is that even in your competence, even in your ability, even in the things you can do outrightly well, you begin to feel you can really not lay your hand on anything, because you feel you are incompetent, you feel you are not good enough for the job, even when you are endowed with a whole lot of dexterity. Why? Because you have surrounded yourself with people that are injecting negative words into you. And then the next thing is that you begin to feel inferior, you begin to feel I cannot do it, and then there is this syndrome of I am not good enough. It's called the I am not good enough syndrome. So please, we keep on stressing the fact that surround yourself with people that will positively encourage you. It has a whole lot of positive effects on your results. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's really an amazing one. Please, can you equally tell us another sign of a toxic relationship?
Okay, thank you very much. There are different signs of toxic relationship. The list is as long as, but I want to come down to the one disrespect. Yeah, in a relationship, when you're not getting respect equally from the other person, it doesn't have to be your just a friend, or let's talk about a boyfriend and girlfriend, or a wife and husband. Sorry, a wife and husband relationship. You're not getting the same respect from your husband or from your wife. It's toxic to you. Although that's in our society today, we can't tell people to like back off from marriage, all that, but there is a means of going through it to clear those toxic signs. But in a situation that you face those kind of things, like the disrespect, dishonesty, you can't really tell your partner the truth, because anything you say he or she is just going to take it like, oh my god, you're this, you're that, is telling you things that are negative, and it impacts you as a person, it impacts your well-being, your mental health. It's not good for you for that. But there's a way of going through it. Instead of divorce, as we all know, there's a means of going through it.
Okay, we are going to go to the way to go through it. So we have a lot of signs of toxic relationship. Those signs we see. We've talked about the communication, we've talked about the disrespect, we've talked about the inferiority complex, and we are going to talk down on a very important aspect here, which is lack of support. Yeah, you're in a relationship where you don't have support, you're on your own, your partner is not supporting your vision, is not supporting your business, is not supporting anything that concerns you. At that moment, you are in a toxic relationship, because you're now like an island standing on your own, which is not possible, and that's why you were in that relationship. So check on that relationship. Is it toxic? Is it helping, or is not helping? Now we are going to talk about the possible way out of this toxicity. You're already in there. How can you come out from it? Now I'm going to talk about acceptance of responsibility. Now, to every relationship, we have partners. It can either be more or two people, your boss, your office, any kind of labor. You're not just on your own making it a relationship. So now you accept responsibility. What part do you play in this relationship? If we don't accept responsibility as young persons, as partners in the office or anywhere, we will still be in this toxicity we are talking about. So to help ourselves that are already facing toxicity, we need to accept responsibility. We need to accept our parts to play. We need to accept the things we need to do. Do your work. Allow the next person to do his or her work. And when we do all that, those are the possible ways we can come out from any form of toxic relationship. Please, can you also tell us any time?
All right, I'll talk about shifts from blame to understanding each other. If you want to slay a relationship, if you want to destroy a relationship within the split of light, then, put up the attitude of blaming each other, then you'll discover that, within a flip of second, the relationship is damaged. But then if you want to, save a toxic relationship, not just to understand each other, appreciate each other. Remember, we're not talking about not just, it's applicable to every form of relationship. So if you want to improve your relationship, you want it to make headway, then adopt the attitude of appreciation, understanding. We are not made without flaws. We are not made without mistakes. But then, imagine that a person makes mistake at the point of expecting to be blasted. The person, is rather corrected, appreciated, and then there is, a strategy that is taught to the person in order to improve. So appreciation and understanding saves a toxic relationship rather than blames. Thank you.
Wow, that's really an amazing one. So we should shift from blaming each other to understanding ourselves better in making that relationship work. Okay, can you also tell us?
Okay, to add to what my friends have already said, I'll be talking about willingness to invest in a relationship. Relationship is not just about one person. It's both party. Are you willing for this relationship to move forward? If you're not willing, then it's okay for you to just let it go down the drain. But if you're willing, you have to invest in it. It's not about one person putting the effort to try to make sure that the relationship is going forward, and then the other person is relaxing and is not doing anything about it. It's both of you coming together to invest in it. It's relationship. It's the two of you, or even if it's 3-5 people, it's you guys, not every other person. You have to be willing to invest in that relationship for it to work, for it to move forward, for you to see the good side of it. It's not just about you seeing the negative side of what's going on and you're not trying to correct the mistakes that you guys have already made. You need to just come together and see the way to move forward about the relationship and invest in it. Thank you.
Okay, we still have possible signs in helping a toxic relationship. I'm going to talk about starting a therapy. If you discover that mostly your marriage, your relationship, you're about to get married and you are already facing a lot of toxicity involved, please, it's really important you start therapy. Therapy is not a sin, it's not bad. Start a therapy. You can start a therapy with your partner, either online or one-on-one, face-to-face conversation with your therapist to make sure that that relationship will work, to make sure that you see the best coming out of it. And another thing again I'm going to talk about is giving space to your partner to help the person heal. Now, already you face this toxicity, it has poisoned your mind, it has affected you, and you're like already in the mess. Now you need to give your partner a space to heal from it. A lot of persons takes a longer time to heal, some person get shorter time to heal. So if you are already healed in that relationship, you need to give your partner a space. It's really important you give the person the space. Don't keep remembering the person about the things that have passed already. Allow the person to heal. And another thing again, invest on healthy communication. You know, communication is the mother of the relationship, so it's important we invest on healthy conversation. Try to bring out the best in this person. This person is not perfect. In fact, if you see anybody that's perfect, please run. The person is either a spirit. So since the person is not yet perfect, try to make the person see the best in him. Try to make the person see the best in her. Even the person is weak, allow the person to like explore himself. Make the person go more to do the thing that he loves, so that the person will really discover a lot about his or herself. So I'm going to allow my guests also tell us the possible ways to get rid of toxicity in a relationship.
Alright, I would also want to stress on the fact of leave the past and face the present. You know, it's usually said yesterday is gone and today is here. So it's good that you concentrate on the present. You know, you must have had a whole lot of ill impressions in the past. Why not concentrate in the present and see how to accumulate positive imageries, and then you see that things fall out for the better. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. So you really need to leave the past and focus on the present. Please, can you also conclude?
Okay, to add to what they have already said, you should also give your partner time to heal, as my friend has already said, and view your partner with compassion. It's not all about you, it's all about the both of you in a relationship. You should give yourself, as when you are in toxic relationship, your mind has already been like, this thing is not going to work. You should give yourself time to heal from that wound in your heart, and also give your partner time to heal as well, so that you guys can come back together and see how to move forward. View your partner with compassion and all that, to make sure that your relationship stands and move forward. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much for watching, and I'm really excited that you are out there and you're watching and you're learning very, very much. And I'm also blessed to have these super ladies by my side, and they've really explained a lot of things. So please, if you have any question, you don't understand any of the points we've mentioned, please drop it in the comment section. We'll be glad to attend to all your questions. And if you haven't subscribed, you haven't followed the page, please, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe, follow, like, share this video to make it go viral. We really need to tackle toxicity in our environment to help us be the best, which God has really helped us to. So please, my ladies and I today are saying thank you for watching through. Thank you for staying tuned, and we love you, and we'll be coming your way next time. And please stay tuned.